Alright, welcome back, and we're going to leave off, pick up where we left off anyway. So, I was reading, I've been reading up on Manuel over here, and basically he doesn't tell me much about how to change that bevel on this miter saw, but after looking at it, I kind of just thought about, well, what's stopping it from turning over? Well, what's stopping it turning over is this guy right here, right? So let's see if I can move him over a little bit. So, all right, that stops right there. I'm gonna have to move this. It's hitting it. I think it's just hitting it way too much. Okay, and then it's still hitting. So let's see. I think you really got to move this fence over quite a bit because it's somewhat still loose. I gotta probably end up tightening this a little more, but I'm just noticing it's just right there. It's just hitting. There we go. And now I'm able to slide it. And also, it actually hits pretty darn close to 45. So you really got to move that fence over so it clears. See how it's clearing right there? That little, right here. Sorry. I know you're not getting a lot of light in here. Right here. It's just barely clearing this. Right here. So it's just barely clearing. So when you get your 12-inch miter saw, you probably want to be a little careful with it when you turn into that bevel, just because it's just gonna hit. You see that spot right there? There we go. Maybe this angle right there. See? It's just barely clearing. Barely clearing. And now it's hitting, like I said, now it's hitting on that 45 pretty good. See that? Hitting that 45 really good. I'm going to try to get a better, put some more light on that. Anyways, I baked some cookies for my daughter and my wife. So when they wake up in the morning, man, they're going to love me so much. You see that? So the line's just hitting that 45. So I'm going to trust that it's on that 45. The only problem now is how do I think this thing right there. Let's see if I could just leave it like that. There you go. I think this right here just has to slip down. Yeah, alright. So I figured it out. So this has to slip down, and then you're able to make that bevel the other way. Isn't that amazing? So now you're able to make that bevel the other way. Let's see what stops it. Okay, there's nothing stopping it, but I have a sneaky feeling that this fence here has to probably, yep, see, has to move. So when they say adjustable fence, I guess it is adjustable, but it's not really adjustable. You mean you really have to move it out of the way. Okay, let's see if it still hits. See, it's still gonna hit. So you really have to keep on moving this thing on over until it clears. There we go. There we go. So let's see if you can get if I can get a shot of that here. Excuse me if I'm wiggling too much. There we go. So that's as far as it goes. So I can actually adjust it to be a little closer than that. So you probably want to, you know, there we go. And so when you get it, you know, you want to probably just be a little shy of putting it right there. So I'm just gonna put it right there. So just so I know I can clear it. Still got to make sure this fence is straight though, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna be doing that, but I guess I'll figure it out somehow. So there we go. He clears. And then I'm kind of curious to see if that's gonna be right on the bevel side here. Yeah, that hits, you know, right on. Let's see if I can get a closer view. There we go. So that hits right at 45. If you can see that pretty darn clear. And that's a pretty good line mark. Let's see how close I can get. There we go. Anyways, is that too bright? It might be a little too bright. So now you can get, it's pretty close to right at 25. I'm gonna have to trust it because it says 45. I'll still put a 45 to the blade, to the table, but you never know. It could be this particular model seems to be well machined, well tuned, so it could be just right on compared to the 10-inch compounding miter saw. So alright. Okay, so we figured out how to move that miter to the other side, and so if we want to lock that into place, I guess we'll just put that in there. And I notice if you have it all the way back, it does tips real easy. Tips real easy when you have it like this. But let's see what happens if I try to move it back, and it's going to hit. So if you're going to miter from, it's designed basically, if you're mitering this way, to have this moved up and in a locked position, and only from the saw on this way, on this side, because if you take a look, let's see, there we go. It's kind of designed to, that screw is gonna come in and just hit that. See if you hit right there. So no harm, basically no harm, no foul. But man, going the other way, you know, having this going the other way, you can see, you kind of see, excuse me, let me do that, so that seems to help focus it. Going the other way like this, it's just not a good idea to be doing that. So basically, you probably just want it down most of the time, unless I guess you're transporting it. That could be a reason. And let me just see how, excuse me, let me just see how tight it is on, just make sure it's on tight. Okay, it's on pretty tight, so alright. So okay, so I finally figured that out. I was just wondering how you're supposed to do all this. Okay, so alright. Well, now that I know that, I'm just gonna leave it up because I know that. And so now that I got this fence cleared, And the thing is, it's kind of loose now, being way over here, and I don't like that. See how it rocks? So I guess I'm gonna have to tighten up in here, and there's probably some room for me, so I have to get a socket. So that's another thing for me to do, I guess. So figure that out, and then I just have to put a straight edge to it and figure out how's it gonna work. So this is at 0, supposedly. So let's go ahead and kind of lock that into place here. If that's at 0, that's wonderful. Let's lock it into place. And then there we go. Okay. Then now I can put this here at 0. Yeah, you're definitely going to have to bolt this down. It's if you put it onto a table, you're going to have to bolt it down because it's very easy to tip. It is bigger and it is heavier. I'll tell you that much. And you can definitely feel that weight on it. It's bigger, but you know, once you get it down, I think you're going to make some great cuts, even thicker cuts. So that's kind of like the advantage of having a 12-inch blade on here. So anyways, what the hell was I going to do? Oh yeah, that's right, the socket. Oh boy, I have to go look for some sockets now to put in there. Alright, that stops right there. I have to move this. It's hitting it. I think it's just hitting it way too much. Okay, and then it's still hitting. So let's see. And basically, he doesn't tell me much about how to change that bevel on this miter saw. But after looking at it, I kind of just thought about, well, what's stopping it from turning over? Alright, welcome back, and we're going to leave off, pick up where we left off anyway. So I was reading, I've been reading up on Manuel over here. Well, what's stopping it turning over is this guy right here, right? So let's see if I can move him over a little bit. So